Arsene Wenger had an enormous impact on you as a player, and then obviously in helping to guide you towards what you've ended up doing. Just to start with, I just wonder, how did that, like I say, it was all a bit last minute, or it seemed it, looking from the outside. What was the kind of conversation you had with Arsene about Arsenal, about coming to rescue a club that was, at the time, not in great shape? How did that conversation grow?
Yeah, it was a panic buy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but maybe sometimes when you don't have time to think, when you make the best decisions.
It was actually the end of the transfer window, but we were all on international. So I was actually away with the German national team, and I had to ask the coach if I could go quickly to London to do the medical and sort all the things out. We had one phone call conversation in German. In German, so he spoke German to me, which.
Of course, because the town he grew up in was half the time was in Germany, half the time was in...
Just straight away the aura came through the phone, and I was thinking, I want to be part of it. It was done anyway a year before. There was some interest. Really? Yeah, the year before there was some interest from Arsenal, and because I had Arsenal shirts when I was young, I had the rivalry with my brother. He was Man United, I was Arsenal, so it was kind of, it was made. Before it actually happened. So, and then, phoned me. He said something like to bring some sort of leadership, into Arsenal, something like that.
It was an inspiring way of saying, can you come and help me, please? Because I'm struggling.
In that regards, but it wasn't long. Nice, short, sharp. On the plane to London, medical done. And I even said to my agent, don't worry about negotiating, just I want to be there. So it was also something that I wanted. I was 26 at that time. I had 70 caps for Germany. So I played for Werder Bremen before within Champions League for 5-6 years in the Bundesliga. And that has also changed massively now. Back then you had to have that experience to go to the Premier League.
Really?
Now, like a Nick Woltemade plays 6 months in the Bundesliga, he's worth like 80-90 million. I think I had a year left, was 10 million back then, so it's fine. But nowadays it all goes so much quicker, and I think it was important for me to have that sort of experience. To go through the struggles to enter the Premier League in my first year. It wasn't easy, but the one man that stood by my side with all the struggles was Arsene Wenger from day one, and he always believed in me, trusted me, and said, you are intelligent enough to learn from your mistakes. That sort, when others probably would have moved on, and probably spent another 20, 30, 40 million. And I'm very appreciative and grateful for the number of years and the 7 years together. And then, we said goodbye on the same day. He obviously left in a certain direction of FIFA, and he just pathed my way into the Arsenal Academy, into the club.
Had he been talking about that for a while? Had he,
So, when Mikel left the club, I think Arsene wanted actually to keep him. But I think he made a promise to Pep back then. I think Mikel said to Arsene, I think there's another one that thinks similar to myself.
Left a note,
So he left
I'm
a
off,
note.
but keep this fella.
And that was a year before my playing contract ended. So he started that conversation a year together with Ivan Gazidis, and he asked me if I wanted to stay. And obviously I needed to speak to my wife, who had the first pick. After their careers, the wife who got the first pick. Because before I told her, you need to go anywhere I go. And I said, once I stop, it's your pick. And she said, I'm happy to stay in London. We were 7 years here, fully integrated, I would say. And I said yes to him, and 3 weeks later he offered me the academy manager job.
Why do you think it was, rather than kind of, the obvious would be, join the coaching team, or do you know what I mean, to be around the first team, hoping to get that leadership that you had as a player, transferring to, But he thought of academy. What was?
Yeah, I think opportunity. So Andries Jonker left. He was the academy manager, but went back into coaching.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of a void. But for him to give me such a leadership role was a big gamble.
Yeah, yeah.
But he has seen me 7 years behave, I think. I was 7 years in an interview. That's what I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's seen me consistently behave in a certain way, and he really believed I could challenge the young people's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he believed that I could do with my experience. And yeah, that's what I do till this day. And I'm very grateful that, because at some stage you need to trust leaders and mentors who are next to you and put you sometimes in positions where you think, well, I don't know what that means actually, but now I know.
Yeah,
And you have to trust that situation, that opportunity. So from that day, yeah, it was a big learning cycle without knowing what to enter, because as we said, growing up in a youth system back then is totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, absolutely different. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying the ride with all the staff members in the academy, and just keep going with that narrative of giving young people an opportunity at Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what has happened before, and that's what we keep doing. When you work for Arsenal and you look at the history, straight away you can touch base with so many amazing people who helped me to bridge that gap between playing and working properly.
Yeah.
Do you know?
That
was bridging the gap, because all of a sudden
playing in a proper job, you mean?
yeah, working properly means like almost 24/7 being available, putting people in positions to thrive and get better.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just about me and me getting better to help the team. Is putting people in place. So I had to learn a lot. But obviously, I wanted also to bring myself and what can I bring to the role, and my learnings and my understanding and the values I carry with me, that what I think have taken me on this journey, on this amazing journey in football, and making a difference wherever I go. So I wanted to leave this academy in a better one. You know, that was my ambition. At the start, obviously, you think, oh, in 2-3 years, I'm going to make a massive difference. That doesn't happen, right? And I'm pleased to sit here after 7 years and thinking, okay, slowly you understood a cycle from Max Dauman has been with us for 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So I've been with him all the way.
Yeah.
But an Ethan and a Miles, they've spent time with us for 10 years. That's the cycle of an academy player. So, you know, you have to respect that cycle in order to make real impact.
Yeah.
So I'm in this position where, you know, I had to learn a lot, and experiences help, right? You know, but always there are tweaks to be made. We scrapped a lot of the taxi credits and put it into the education budget. Yeah, I said we got to make sure that we develop well-rounded individuals, you know, who still can find a bus station, you know, and not waiting for the taxis when we leave them. Because 99% need to find a different job. Period.
Yeah.
Right? And we can't just prepare them to fail. No chance. I'm not in for this. I've seen it myself, what it does, you know, when we say, oh, these 5's going to make it for sure. And they never made it into any like first 4 leagues in Germany.
Yeah.
So I'm always warned by that kind of feeling of, you know, can you be really sure? Can you judge early? I'm trying to zoom out and step away. Although I know there's a lot of competition for young players, you know, now. You know, they are very, very important for football clubs, for fans, you know, identification plays a big part of it. But I want to make sure that we have youngsters who are well-rounded to resist the hype, to resist the attention that sometimes can be painful, but have more mid to long-term success. Ideally in our football club, but also if it's not here, somewhere else. And
if it's not in football, somewhere else.
That is drawn, that all goes back to character, personality, foundations that we built with football.
Yeah.
Which I've done for myself, and I'm really happy. I'm just trying to pass on advice and tips when needed to. But it's certainly something when I came in, personality, character, being well-rounded, taking education seriously, taking, you know, making sure that you take advantage of all your benefits. Don't let football be a burden to you, right? To
Yeah,
do
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Let it be a burden to draw on it and to show interest in other stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's really how you grow and develop. I think there's a framework in place and building on standards, and we're big on respect, discipline, and humility. I think humility is the foundation for kind of any success. We want confident boys. I think that's, you know, there's a balance to keep, you know, between confidence and being humble. So these two elements.
Self-belief is maybe a better word.
Is really key for us, but everyone is so individual now. You know, you have the framework, but there's still freedom to work with, and that is, I think that's the power of the environments now, right? Where there are people in place that need to be recruited really wisely. All the coaches, all the fitness coaches, the analysts, all the people that work in the academy, which are around 100 now, right?
Yeah.
100 people for 200 players roughly from under 9 to under 21s. This is the environment that shapes those sort of characters and their parents. So we're trying to provide that in order that everyone finds their best, but their kind of sweet spot, because I don't want everyone to be the absolute same. Absolutely not. I want them to really feel that freedom and bravery, and probably with Mikel it's the same. He loves the structure, right? He loves a certain pattern.
Really?
Yeah,
Does he?
He loves it.
Does
He
he?
loves it. He's really keen on that, but he can't avoid. And as what he does,
No,
right? That's
absolutely.
the magic. He can't avoid Miles Lewis Skelly. What he does, you know, when he takes the ball from a probably dangerous situation.
What about that goal? by the
Just
way?
dribbles all the way through and give the assist to Martinelli, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
These are the things that we want the players to feel. But on the other hand, they know how many people worked for them all these years. Bukayo to this day, you know, when he sees academy staff in the canteen at Shoba, at Colney, he comes across straight away because they all know, you know, how many people played part in their journey development and where they are now. So, yeah, this is a sign of, for me, you know, of a true youngster that went through the ranks. And I think that's very powerful, because what he does with that little sign, you know, and acknowledging the academy staff is just, you know, this is what it's all about. It goes full circle. But he's a real inspiration to many, many kids, not only in the academy, but, you know, the next generation of fans.
No, absolutely.
And I think it's just, for him, it just means a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know, and he can really feel it. And what he gives the fans, he gets back double, triple. And that's, you know, that's what we want to keep doing at Arsenal. Those sort of characters, who the fans and all the supporters really identify with. Miles, Ethan, also Max, and you can see their kind of development through the years. And what Miles did against Atletico Madrid, he'd done it as an under 10.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm not joking. I've done this deliberately because that's also us, the individual development within a team and working on their super strength all the time, because we feel like that will make the difference. So yeah, he bulldozed through midfields as an under 10, 12, 13. You see Ethan smashing in goals, left, right and centre, what he's done against Man City in those games. All a bit, you know, slower and smaller, but with the same love, you know, and that's and if we can keep that in them, regardless of attention, fame, money, this is what a strong young gunner is. And this is what we're here to do. Obviously also framework and clarity, you know, how we develop, what are our foundations in terms of the standards, what are the pillars where we see the all-round development for our players, whether it's on the football side, on the physical, on the mental, on the learning side. So we're trying to capture it all to have room for discussion, to create gaps for our youngsters, but always in the conversation where they feel they have the freedom, you know, to express themselves. So yeah, that's the power of the people and putting the right people in places, whether that's very early in the foundation phase, have experts there that understand children, fun, environment, right up the way until the transition into first team, where we still keep thinking about individual development within the team and making sure they work on their strength to kind of bridge the gap to then football, and then they see not only love when they see, the first team is ready. If I'm good enough, I get an opportunity, I get a chance, and I can do what I've been always doing, showing and loving throughout my time here within the academy. So we won't stop that. We're trying also educate parents and what the expectations are. I mean, I set the expectations right from pre-academy. Speak to under 8 parents, just setting it out. Your son has got less than 1% to be the next Bukhari, less than 1%. And then I tell them, this is what we do. This is why. This is why we have the program that we have. So this is where the journey starts, and the honesty and transparency about our program. And the strength is that we have the right people in the right places to make sure we don't forget why we're here, what we're here to do, but also never forget the love of the ball, the club, and
your teammates, absolutely.
That matters.
Yeah.
And
how do you find those right people?
Culture fit first. Before we look obviously into expertise and knowledge and experience, always probe on culture, on person, whether that fits within our environment.
Right.
Not you against me, or whether I like you, whether you fit into the environment. So that is always the first process, sort of in interviews. But then always, if you have the chance to, engage with people again that have been part of Arsenal Football Club, like a Jack Wilshere, and who I've seen behaving like on a daily basis as a player. How does he do that as a coach? All these things come into consideration. And at Arsenal, we're in a very good position where people, first of all, they want to work for us. They want to be part of this because they see something going in terms of their own development, development for their North Star, whatever it is, in terms of staff, but also in terms of players. And when you said playing up, if it's the right thing for someone to get challenged, right, we'll do it. Not to avoid winning at an under 14, 15, 16, or not take a good player away from a coach, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're all in here to provide the right environment for our youngsters able to thrive. If it doesn't happen, no problem. We highly support and care for those individuals. But it's not around, we're not here to have let's say a superstar coach and they win certain title.
Yeah.
We're here to make sure we provide the players with the right pathways in order to grow and develop. If a player is ready at 15, he's going to be exposed, to first team level, because some of these kids look so young, mature. And what changed is also when I was 17, 18, first steps into the first team, I was seen as competition. Like sitting in the dressing room and looking up, people would see me as a rival, right, for their position. It's different now. I mean, they're welcome with open arms.
Really?
Because the players feel like anyone who can make a contribution or win a one-on-one or make a difference or get us something is welcome. So the first team now, how they, welcome our young players is absolutely phenomenal. And the experience that they get there is totally different than 20 years ago. I agree, we still need to be conscious of that, not judging too early, not pushing too early, almost being there if something goes wrong. But the talents that run around, like in academies, and have been part of, I've just spoken about the example of 7 years, and we've tried to expose them and challenge them, and always rising to the occasion, almost like, is frightening. We're not going to stop it, but we want to make sure still some teenagers there who need support. If someone's gonna not hurt them, not smash them, or something happens badly, which we're not hoping, but they're looking so mature, so technically developed. So it is a process that we're conscious of, but we're also really proud of what we can deliver together with families who play a massive part also in that. It's not only us, we only have them part-time, the ones who work behind the scenes to calm the situation down and to keep youngsters humble, that is the major job when it comes very early, because still children in our care that we need to make sure. But I think what is good is academy staff aware, first team staff really aware and really conscious, and we're trying to do it step by step. But still, we're breaking records every single year, which we didn't intend to. The youngsters made it happen, and what they are about, and that is what we have tried to achieve from day one. When I faced Bayern Munich in knockout stages, we're always
don't.
We're always
no.
Obviously, the team and the squad looks different. It looks different now.
Yeah.
We strength and depth is, I think, is a phrase that is going to be used fairly often, lately, and rightly so. And at the moment, everyone that steps in steps up, and it's quite significant, and that's part of a functioning team, coaching staff, and I think we need to use that momentum in order to, go a long way this season. I've personally, feel very good about it at the moment, and we should ride and really concentrate on that. I think still driving the people within academies, trying to provide, good environments, platforms, positive environments, learning environments, for the future. That excites me. That excited me from day one when this was proposed to me till now. I'm still really passionate about that, and I think we are continue to drive that forward. Having those environments in place that do challenge, youngsters, but also care for them. That is something that I will continue to do. Making sure that, we do things at the right time, not being rushed by anyone else or by the industry, doing things at the right time in the Arsenal way, I would say. We're not going to turn out to be other clubs, and we're investing in youth development, and the club recognizes the power of that, and I'm really grateful for that continues. But we will do it our way, with our people and our youngsters that want to fully identify with Arsenal Football Club, totally ingrained in it, and make history here. That will not stop. So I'm conscious about the landscape, importance of homegrown talent, but we'll do it our way, and that's the right way.
Yeah.